Hey, we want to switch things up a little bit today. It's Friday. It's the podcast. We love you all. Thank you for tuning in today. We're on the corner. It's 110 Ocean Drive. Jam with me. Let's go. Hey.
And through my phone I'm scrolling. Dang my line. Off that drink it's hard to focus.
What's up, Mississippi Tupelo?
Like I'm always chosen by romantics that are
Alabama, I ain't forget about you.
We can make arrangements though. And if you
Nebraska, what's up? NC, what's up? PA, what's up?
I might just do you
Chicago, what up? GA, what up?
She don't allow herself.
Hey.
It's nobody else. I've had days where I was dolo.
Hey, guys, I wanted y'all to jam with us for a few minutes. Hey, I like the introduction. It's Friday, baby. It's Friday. We got the podcast. It's live. Got Grant to the left of me. Alex over here. And Tave. Yeah, I'm in the fucking building, baby. Yeah, man. We got the 11 o'clock game, though. We got the 11 o'clock game. Boomer, Sooner, Texas, Longhorns. One of the top five. Oh, man. One of the top five rivalries.
Yep. Yeah, and they're kicking off 11 a.m.
11 a.m., baby.
It should be a strong start to the conference championship week.
With that weak-ass defense, though.
Yeah. Of course, we're ignoring the Pac-12 championship tonight because they don't matter.
Hey, I was really disappointed. I went with guys, we weren't here last week, which you all know. But Grant and I picked some games, for that week, and Washington was one of my picks. Washington was one of my picks. Oh, Washington State, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Washington State was one of my picks.
Washington State was one of your picks, and they really dropped the ball.
But man, with that weather though.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. They were playing in a blizzard.
Fucking terrible.
Kind of neutralized the pass game.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Never good for Mike Leach's team.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah.
Offensively, they're air raid team. So you saw a lot of ground game, and what's the kid Larkin from Washington, the running back? He had a hell of a day, had a hell of a night, I should say. I'm watching it. We watching it in Alabama. I was in Alabama. Hey, shout out Alabama. Hey, War Eagle, we got our ass whooped.
Yes, you did. That's all right though, because you ran into a little fellow named Tua. Dropping dimes.
Let me tell you something. That kid is incredible, man.
He's something else.
Yeah. He's incredible.
They might win 6 championships in a row if his little brother's as good as they say he is.
Oh, my gosh. Hey, Auburn, y'all did cover the first half, though, 17. Hey, good job. Good job. I don't know what happened in the second half.
And as we all know, my team lost as well.
Which we knew they were.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure. But anyways.
Hey, man.
I did pick them. I sent you the text that I picked them to cover.
You did.
I did say on the last recording that I thought Nebraska was going to split their last 2 games. So as far as I'm concerned, I was not wrong.
That was a big game.
Yeah,
that was a big game. The Iowa game was a big game, and when you saw Iowa at the end of the game, they looked more powerful.
Oh no, they looked more powerful throughout the whole game.
Yeah,
they were blasting our guys off the line about 8-9 yards for the whole first half.
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing, man.
Yeah, it was rough.
It should have been ass whooping, but you guys pulled it.
Yeah, but
together,
they, Kirk Ferentz decided to give us a little gift basket at the end of that game and fake a field goal on the 2-yard line. And then, we had to show him how you fake a punt on your own 8-yard line. So
I was surprised he ran that play.
And I'll tell you what, this time next year, everybody in the country will know who Maurice Washington is. Everybody. Watch.
I don't know who he is, guys.
Yeah, no, not yet. I said next year, this time. Thanksgiving next year, we'll talk.
Hey, well, back to this Oklahoma-Texas game.
Yep. Let's get on.
Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray showed us
something else.
He showed us why he was a top candidate for the Heisman.
Yep. Yeah. He, they in that West Virginia Oklahoma game, he really Oklahoma showed that they had the discipline to win that. I don't know if you watched the game, but
I did.
Yeah. West Virginia's got all kinds of discipline problems, is what I learned. And, you have a, 50-yard run going down the sideline. Your guy blocks a guy 15 yards out of bounds.
I couldn't believe he did that. And
Yeah.
then he showed he was strong. Listen, man, I don't even know you were strong. You're a receiver. There ain't that many strong receivers out there.
Yeah, no, he was I don't know if you saw, but after he got flagged, he was out in the middle of the field flexing. And it's just, well, you just cost your team the game. Yeah. So,
Will Greer had a hell of a game, though. Will Greer, hey, I mean, you fell behind Kyler Murray and Tua, but you did have a hell of a week, man. You did have a hell of a week.
No, and that was an exciting game to watch. I mean, I was watching at the end of the third quarter, in the last 2 minutes, I think there's 3 touchdowns.
Oh yeah.
So I think you'll see a little bit more of a, the Big 12's version of a defensive game, I suppose.
539 yards by Will Greer, though.
Yeah.
539 yards.
Yep.
Between him and this McCoy, not McCoy, the Jenkins kid, the Jenkins Jr. kid.
Yeah. The receiver.
225 receiving yards. Let me tell you something. That's grown man business right there. That's grown man business right there. I don't know how in the hell Oklahoma stayed in the game, but when I saw Kyler Murray, that kid is, man, he's beyond blessed.
He's a game changer. And I think this week, whenever you have a game like this where you got two teams that played each other earlier in the year, it's real tough to beat a team like Oklahoma twice. It's real tough to beat any team twice in a year.
It is.
But Oklahoma's a different beast, and I think what you're going to say, what do we got the over-under at, too? 77?
77.
That's a lot of points. But Big 12 football, I'm staying away from the over-under, but if I had to guess, I think it's going to be under. I think it's going to be like a 35-31 game.
Really? Who do you got winning, though?
I got Oklahoma winning.
Do you have Oklahoma covering, though?
I do not have Oklahoma covering.
Not that 8?
Not that 8.
No, I don't have them covering either.
No, this is a huge, like we talked about earlier, this is a top 5 rivalry in college football. I think this is going to be a real tight game. There's a lot on the line. Oklahoma's possibly playing for a berth in the college football playoff. I think they roll.
I like that. I mean, I'm going to pick Texas with the points, but I like Oklahoma to win the game. I like the Marquise Brown kid out of Florida, Antonio Brown's nephew or cousin or something like that.
Yeah, Hollywood.
Hey, man, that boy, that's a bad man. That's a bad man. Got with a ton of speed. Mm-hmm. Number 5, catch him if you can. But he has 1,200 receiving yards, 1,264 receiving yards this year. Man. I'm gonna tell you, watching him, I almost felt like I was watching an SEC player. And speaking of SEC,
let's toot that horn.
Hey, that Judy kid from Alabama is
yeah, you guys found out about him.
My God, you're blessed, young man. You're blessed. That receiving core for Alabama is gonna be tough. We're gonna get into that a little later, but when you think about the production of Texas this year, what comes to mind?
Oh, I think I've heard a lot in the media about Sam Ehlinger being like Texas's version of Tim Tebow, which is I don't know about that, but I think Tebow is a little bit more gifted athlete and passer.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I mean, you think about Tim Tebow's, what was his junior year, where he had 34 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I mean, he didn't have the best throwing form by any means, but he got the job done in college. And the guy didn't lose games in college. And I think Ehlinger, I just don't think he's at the same level. I think that's kind of an unfair comparison because you're talking about a guy who had a statue erected in his name while he was on campus, which I have a problem with, but we'll get into that another time. That's just SEC stuff.
Hey, man, listen. Hey, Sam Ehlinger has a 64% passing rating, though.
Yeah, he does. But, I mean, is it really that hard to complete 64% of your passes in the Big 12?
It's not.
Yeah.
Nobody in the damn conference plays defense.
No.
I feel like I'm playing a video game when I'm watching it.
Yeah, and I don't think Texas has the offensive firepower right now to keep up with them. And their defense, I mean, they've got the best defense in the Big 12, but like we've been saying, that's not really that impressive.
It's not. But when you watch them go to AT&T Stadium to play, neutral site, which is really not neutral, it's at home.
Yeah.
It's different, man. Texas is different. Texas ball is different. Kyler Murray, he's gonna feel like he's at home because he is at home.
He is. He is from Texas. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to touch on. I don't know if you remember about 4 years ago, I came to you and I said, Tave, this kid I've been watching tape of is going to be a star.
You did say that.
Yeah.
He went to Texas A&M.
Who was that?
Initially.
Yeah, who was that? Was that Kyler Murray?
It was.
It was Kyler Murray. Okay. I just wanted to touch on that real quick, because I got an eye for this stuff.
Man. But he said, though, that he would rather play baseball.
Well, I would too.
I don't know, man.
He's the 9th overall pick in MLB. So
Yeah, for Oakland. Oakland.
I'm not sure which
It's
team.
Oakland. I want to say it's Oakland. But, I mean, hands down, I love this. I love this pick, this Texas pick. If you're going with the pick this week, guys, go with Texas minus the 8, because it's 8 right now. The over and under is 77. We're going Texas with the spread. Oklahoma with the money line, though. So if you're picking the money line, go with Oklahoma. Kyler Murray's gonna be balling like he always does. The game last week when he played West Virginia, he was so even keel when it was that 4th down play.
Yep.
That was in the red zone, and also I think it was on the 30, 40-yard line, and he's scrambling from his right to his left, past defensive lineman, and pointing out, hey, you left, right, up and down the field, man. And
he never looked rattled.
Man. He's a special kid.
Yeah.
He is. I love watching him ball. So guys, that's what we have for that pick. On to the next pick. Hey, what up, GA? I think y'all gonna get Bama this week. Rammer, jammer, yellow hammer. Y'all can stay your ass in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe Georgia is gonna be that pick. I actually want to take Georgia on the money line, but I really love that 13.5, 14 points for Georgia. What do you think, young fella?
I think it's going to be a real rough day for Georgia.
Really?
I think it's going to be real rough. You guys met the boy named Tua, or should I say the man named Tua?
Tua's a bad kid, man.
Yeah, that pass he made to Jerry Jeudy going down the sideline was one of the best throws I've ever seen in a college football game. I
got a text from a buddy of mine. Patrick, what's up? He texted me and said it was the catch in the end zone when he turns around and
Yep.
So he texted me. He says, "Wow, I'm done watching this."
I think that's probably how your entire fan base felt.
My mom went in the kitchen. It was terrible.
Yep. I mean, there's really nothing you can do when a guy's throwing the ball around the field like that. Especially when you think that their two deep is all 5 stars. Yeah. And if they're not a 5-star, they're a guy who beat out a 5-star.
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to watch Auburn play Alabama. But I believe with the way Georgia runs the ball, DeAndre Swift, impressive. The Holyfield, Evander Holyfield's son, he's impressive. They run the ball really strong, man. I mean, when you look at the history of the Georgia running backs from, past 5 years or so.
Oh, it goes back further than that.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean,
dating
Herschel
back
Walker,
to Noshawn Marino.
Yeah, Noshawn was a bad boy, by the way. And I remember when they played Auburn in Georgia, and Noshawn had just scored a touchdown. And, bro, they started doing the Soldier Boy dance on the sideline. Oh, my gosh.
Yep. I mean, that was a That was a real good team. That was Stafford, Marino.
Yeah, they were impressive, man. They were impressive. It was tough. It was tough to watch Auburn play that game. But when you see the history of just Georgia's running backs, I believe this running back crew they have, I believe they'll be able to do what it takes to control the game, just like Dallas Cowboys did last night. Control the game.
Yep.
He's a great quarterback. He's very efficient. You like Georgia. I like Georgia. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say you. I like Georgia. I like the way they move the ball. I love their defense, the tenacity of their defense. How exciting they get to actually play the game. I mean, they all run to the ball. I mean, Alabama does the same thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're gonna get that with Nick Saban's prodigy and Kirby Smart coming up, and he's really got that team at a different place. He's really elevated that whole team, and I do like what you say about the running game. I do think it's gonna be. Just to clarify, I don't like Alabama with the 13.5, but I do like them by a touchdown, 10 points.
I like that.
And I do think Georgia's plan is going to be keep the ball out of Tua's hand. And if that's not their plan, I'd be shocked.
I believe that you should blitz more, though. I believe that when you strategize against Tua, just watching the Alabama-Auburn game myself, I haven't really watched Alabama, consistently each week, but I always see that Tua makes his first read and normally goes with that second read. But I think that if you scheme him differently and you put some pressure on him, I mean that knee, it seemed. I mean, he seemed hobbled about 2 weeks ago. He didn't seem hobbled last week at all. But when you put the pressure in certain spots, whether that's a corner blitz, A gap blitz, B gap blitz, cover 2, man, it's going to be different. You have to throw a lot at him, and I mean, when you throw different blitz packages into what he is not accustomed to,
yeah,
it changes
you're definitely gonna have to disguise what you're doing. You're gonna have to confuse them. You're gonna have to get to them. I mean, they're not necessarily gonna have to. They're gonna have to get 10 pressures on him.
Oh yeah,
at least because if you let that kid just sit there, it's over.
Yeah, he's gonna tear you up.
It doesn't matter. He's shown last week that he can drop it in between 3 people, no problem. No problem.
The guy's impressive. Heisman.
And I do see him. I do see him looking off a lot of safeties and stuff like that.
He does. I agree.
He'll do it like that thing where you glance over to the right. Everyone kind of is like, okay, and then he almost he'll flip over to the left side and almost just blind fire it.
Well, Georgia knows that.
Yeah.
National championship game.
Yep. That's exactly what he did to win the game.
So when you have seen the tape that you guys had against him a year ago, you already have data on him. You know where your strong points were, and also where they were not strong at, where you were not strong at. You can change things. You can change things. You can make. Listen, Jake Fromm has to have a great game.
Yep. He
has to have a great game on offense. You know the running backs are going to show up. When you have that type of production on offense, or if you can get that type of production on offense, I believe Georgia can come out on top. I predicted Georgia to win the game.
You did.
I did.
I predicted Alabama will win the game, but as a caveat, the thing that I think Georgia has going for them is Alabama's really not playing for anything because they're in.
Yeah,
they're gonna. If they lose, they're in.
It
doesn't matter. I mean, they might be playing for a higher seed, but in the playoff, that really doesn't matter because it's 2 neutral site games. It's not like you're gonna get a home game out of it.
Yeah.
And that is going for them, where they might be able to sneak up on them, and they're playing for more. But I just don't see it. I don't see it from this Alabama team. They're just the thing that has always, I've always been the guy who's like, Alabama's not perfect. They're not the team that, you hear it every year. Alabama can't be beaten. Alabama can't be beaten. I've never agreed with that until I watched this Tua kid play. And it's a whole different thing with that dynamic of a playmaker.
Yes.
At that position for them. Because, I mean, you go down the list. You got the A.J. McCarrons, the Craig McElroys. Those guys who, they're game managers. They're going to win the game, but they're not gonna light up the scoreboard. That's all out the window. And this kid there is something that in that kid that I haven't seen in my entire life.
Yeah, he's a magical fucker.
Yeah, he really is. And I mean, I really wouldn't be surprised if he wins the national championship every year he's there.
Well, he's only there this year, next year.
Yep.
Because he's not going to stay for the senior season.
No. But then, little Tua comes right in. And, it might be a rough time for the SEC for the next 6 years.
Man, it could be. It could be. He's doing the things down there in Birmingham and Thompson, 7A school. Big time ball in Alabama. Hey, what up, Alabama? When you take okay, let me ask you this. When you think about what the history of Alabama quarterbacks have done, and then you look at what he has done, where do you rate him amongst the great Alabama quarterbacks?
You're talking about all the way back with like the Staubachs. Yeah, he's the best I've seen. I'll put it that way. I mean, what does the kid have this year? 3,000 yards, 30 touchdowns, two picks, I think.
Yeah, he does.
And I mean, if he wins the national championship this year, I think he's submitted himself as the greatest Alabama quarterback to ever play. I really think that.
Damn. Alabama fans. How do y'all feel about that, Alabama fans? Hey, comment, subscribe, and tell us how you feel about that on the YouTube channel.
I would hardly call it a hot take.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's just, and he still has to win if he wins the national championship this year, I believe that will be the case. But, there's a lot of football still to be played, but I just don't see him. He really, the thing I love about him more than anything is his demeanor.
Right.
And you don't hear about the off the field stuff. He seems like a really good kid.
He is.
He's got that it factor that everyone always talks about. He never, ever, he got thrust into the middle of a national championship game, and he didn't, and then he takes that terrible sack right before he wins the game.
Right.
And it did not rattle him.
What, it was 30 and 18 or something like that?
And you're talking about an 18, 19-year-old kid at that point. And there was, just ice water in his veins. And that's what I think is the biggest difference between him and everyone else in college football right now is there's no fear. He doesn't he believes he's going to win. He knows how to win, and he's going to win. Right.
Well, defense, Georgia, bring that defensive line with you.
You better.
Because if that defensive line doesn't show up, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. And I'm going to tell you this. Alabama, if Alabama loses, Alabama fans have nothing to worry about when it comes to this. This game right here is just basically like a scrimmage. It's an indicator as to where you are.
Yeah.
But if they lose the game, they're still in the top 4. Notre Dame is not going to beat them. Clemson has a great defensive line. We'll talk about that a little later. But I still don't believe with what's my guy named Trevor Lawrence. I don't believe he's seen anything like this Alabama defense.
No, in
Nor has he seen anything like Georgia's defense.
no,
Not in the ACC.
no, not in the ACC.
So Alabama losing the game, Alabama fans have nothing to worry about at all. I mean, because they know they're playing for
No,
nothing.
the only thing that they would have to worry about is, I mean, if hell freezes over and they get beat by 30 points, then that would be troublesome. But I mean, I don't see hell freezing over this
No,
week.
I don't either. If Georgia has everything to play for, they have everything to play for, and they need to play hard. They need to play really hard so they can get into the playoff. I would like to see Georgia in the playoffs over Oklahoma myself. I mean, I watched them last year with Baker.
Yeah.
When Baker played, and that was a great game, hell of a game. I still don't understand how Georgia was able to come back from being down as
Yeah, they were down by like 20 points, weren't they?
I mean, they're down by so many points, and you're thinking to yourself, no way they're going to be able to come back from that in the second half. And then they show up, and was 48, 47 or something like that?
I was personally exceptionally butthurt about that. If I have to watch another all SEC championship, I'm going to be very upset.
Hey, I loved watching the game. I thought it was an amazing national championship game, but
It was one of the all-time greats, that's for sure. But
yeah, I don't see Oklahoma. Oh, by the way, side note, hey, Mackenzie Milton.
that was bad.
Wow.
That was real tough.
That was a tough one, man. That was a tough blow. I mean, I don't know if you guys saw what actually happened with Mackenzie Milton from UCF, but that was a blow right there to their team.
Yeah.
Tremendous blow.
No.
I mean, you would have thought after, when you were watching the game, maybe they would have bumped them a little higher than what they were. But when you saw Mackenzie Milton go down, you knew. I watched the backup quarterback. I wasn't impressed at all.
No, I was actually watching that game when that happened, and it was one of those moments where you didn't really see, for me personally, I didn't really see exactly what happened, but I saw all the players reacting to it. And I mean, you had guys taking their helmets off and like basically collapsing. And
yeah, that season was over.
It took the air out of that whole stadium.
Yeah, it did. It was a lot to actually see. It was a lot of people that were distraught about it. When you look at that injury, man, I think it was multiple ligaments.
Oh, it had to have been. I haven't updated myself on that just because just watching it was tough.
Yeah, he had to repair the whole knee, I assume.
Yeah.
But ACL, MCL.
Yeah. Well, he had to have the initial surgery right when it happened, and then I think he went back in for another one. But, I mean, you got to feel for the kid. He's another one of those kids that seems like he is a real stand-up dude. And it just doesn't, that's the scary part of football.
Well, get well, my guy. Get well, Mackenzie Milton, man. Hey, we wish you the best. But
well, let's lock in these picks too. So you got Georgia.
I'm going Georgia. Georgia 13.5.
What about the money line? What's your final verdict on the money line, Tave?
Georgia. I'm going with you.
He's going it.
I'm going Georgia, baby. Let's go. Hey,
Seeing as
what's up?
Seeing as my partner has lost his damn mind, I will go Alabama. I'm going to take Georgia on the points, but I think Alabama is going to win this game by 10 points. But Tave, if they do not get in his face, it's going to be a 21-point drubbing.
It could be a massacre. I don't see Georgia being the same team they lost as the one that lost to LSU. I believe that Georgia's coming to play ball. You're going to play ball in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Atlanta, Georgia. You're back at home. You're at home.
Oh yeah.
You're at home.
You're in the heart.
Hey, do your thing, baby. Do your thing. We don't want to see Oklahoma there. They don't have a defense. Ohio State, they're going to have to do something. They're going to have to get a magical. They're going to have to get something magical from the committee, because it's no way they deserve to jump all those teams to play for the national championship. I mean, a lot of people say that if they beat Northwestern, they will be the team, But I don't know how sitting at number 9 or something like that.
Ohio State?
Yeah.
Well, they're at 6 now.
Oh,
they
6.
They jumped up. They would. I mean, the only way they get in is if Georgia and Oklahoma both lose.
Yeah, Michigan, you suck.
Yeah, Michigan's. That was actually going to be one of my picks, but then I flipped at the last second last week, and boy, am I glad I did.
My gosh.
Because
Michigan.
Jim Harbaugh, speaking as a Nebraska fan,
9 million, Jim? 10 million with
Jim
insurance.
Harbaugh is Michigan's version of Bo Pelini.
My
Enjoy
my.
that. Enjoy that, Michigan.
That's
because
tough.
he's never going to beat Ohio State.
That was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. They broke records. They broke records, man.
A bunch of records.
Golly.
Most points allowed.
Hey,
Their 6th loss in a row to Ohio State. More than that. 6 under Jim Harbaugh. I don't even know. They're looking at a decade here pretty soon.
You have to do better, guys. Michigan, you got to do better. I don't know what happened to the linebacker. I'm a big fan of him. Number 10, I forgot his name.
Devin Bush?
Yeah, Devin Bush. I'm a big fan of Devin Bush, man. But I saw Devin Bush fall just chasing someone down, and he knew they was getting an ass whooping. He knew it was an ass whooping. He just stayed down there, and just I don't know the severity of the injury, but it just it was bad. I mean, they just kept running underneath routes, just swing routes, and it was terrible. And Hobson's not even that type of player from a running standpoint. Like, he's not mobile. So, Michigan, that was embarrassing. But to get back to this game, I'm going Georgia.
I'm going Alabama.
The over is 63. I don't know if you want to mess with that at all.
No, you already know my stance on over-unders. I hate them.
If I had to go, I'm going under. If I'm betting it, I'm going under.
Yeah, that's a lot of points for that.
I want the spread, though.
I think both of those defenses are real good. So I would, if you put a gun to my head, I'd say under.
Oh, well, don't do that.
Don't do that, though.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's a crime.
Oh, my.
We don't support crime.
Oh, not at all. Not at all. So, yeah, guys, that's our pick for the 3 o'clock game. And then we got the prime time game. Prime time.
Tonight's prime time game. So, we got conference championships this week, as is the theme for this week. But we got two, count them, 2 primetime games.
We do.
We got Clemson Pitt, and we got
Northwestern Ohio State.
Yes. So, I think these are going to be 2 easy games to pick. I think they're going to be 2 games where you see one team really be on a different level than their opponent.
But why do you say easy, though?
Because I'll tell you why. Pitt, I believed in you last week.
Wow.
I picked you last week.
Damn.
Miami's defense held you to 3 points.
That was embarrassing, too.
You're going up against a completely different animal this week. You got one of the best defensive lines in college football.
Christian Wilkins.
You got one of the best freshman quarterbacks in college football.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yep. And you got one of the best running backs in college football in Travis Etienne.
That boy's a bad man. He's a bad man.
So just to come out there and say it, I think this is going to be a game where Clemson wins 42-0, something like that.
I agree. I don't even know why we're talking about this. I mean, I don't even think it's going to be close.
No.
I'm going to bet the first half and the entire game. That's how easy, I feel like that's how easy of a moneymaker this is.
Yeah.
They may cover the over by themselves. The over is 52. They may cover the over by themselves.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 52-0 game. Would not be surprised at all.
Pitt looked terrible, man. They looked terrible. I mean, they didn't look like the same team playing Wake. And Wake, they did their thing against Duke last week. But
yeah, that was surprising. What was that, like 62-3 or something like that?
That was a beat down. Let me get that for you, because when I saw the score, I think it was 34-3 or something. So I'm looking at the game like, what is this? Is this Duke for real?
That's exactly what I thought too.
You know, Duke has been a better team all year.
Yeah,
all year.
59-7 was the.
Oh my gosh! You had to think that Duke didn't want to play. I don't know if it was Duke football or Duke basketball.
Well, their
Because
defense
they
was playing basketball.
Team, oh my gosh! Wow, that basketball team of Duke. Hey, let me tell you something. And I'm a Tar Heel guy, but I'm really impressed by their basketball team. Very impressed.
I hate them.
I do too.
I hate them.
Yeah,
But anyway,
they're good though.
Yeah, the ACC looks like they stuck to basketball this year.
Yeah.
Outside of Clemson,
Yeah.
It's just Clemson's at a whole different level. I don't think we have much else to say about this game. I don't even, this is one of those ones where it's hard to go against the folks who say the conference championships are pointless. And it's hard to defend this game because, Clemson is just so clearly above everyone else in that conference. Yeah. I mean, they've had no close games, I don't think, in conference, and if they did, it was because they didn't show,
Yeah, I agree. I mean, playing this week, Bank of America Stadium, it's going to be about 67 degrees there. It's going to feel like it's just, a walk in the park.
Yep.
A scrimmage game. When you think about what Pitt did last week, I don't know if they were looking forward to the conference game or what was on their mind, but when I watched South Carolina play Clemson, this Clemson team, man, they have a unique group of people. That defensive line they have, like once again with Christian Wilkins, they have 4 defensive linemen that are definitely going to the NFL.
Oh yeah,
within
the top 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I think 2 of them are projected to go in the first round.
Right. And you got Wilkins. You're playing him on offense and defense. He's doing a
that
Heisman pose. Oh my gosh,
I loved that.
Oh man, he was impressive, man. Defensively, he's impressive. I mean, he's quick. He kind of reminds me of Aaron Donald, just the way he plays, his high motor, and the way he gets off of blocks. He's an impressive kid.
Yeah, Pitt could use Aaron Donald back for this one.
Man, they need him. It's over, Pitt.
Yep.
It's over. Go.
So we're taking.
We in agreement. 27.5, 28. Hell, it could be 30 for all I care. I'm picking them.
Yeah.
I'm picking them. I'm betting it. Bet that, guys. If you want to go with for sure money, and I don't really know if anything is ever for sure, but I like this pick. 27.5. The over and under is 52. Go with Clemson.
The Tigers.
It's over. It's over.
Yeah. Pitt is. I think it's safe to say the Tiger bait this week.
Oh yeah. Hands down. But when you go with this Ohio State pick, who are you going with?
Well, we got Ohio State minus 13.5, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
14. It went up a whole point.
It went up a whole point. Still confident.
Hell no. I listen, man. I've watched Ohio State a lot this year, and the only impressed time for me was when they played last week. That was the only time I was impressed.
Yeah, I can see that, and I completely agree with you. My thing is, well, and I mean, let's go back to a couple weeks ago when we took Ohio State over Maryland.
Oh man,
there's a little bitterness there, I think.
Yeah, that I'm definitely still bitter about that.
Yeah, but I think that was a bit of an overlooked game, and it seems like they've shifted their focus. Their special teams and defense made I mean, they pretty much ended the game last week. I was working at the time, and I get an alert. You know, I was kind of tracking the game on my phone, 27-19. I was like, okay, this is about what I expected. Then all of a sudden, I get an alert that says Ohio State's D just called game. And I look at the score, and it's like 45-17. I was like, oh, okay. What happened?
Terrible.
It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Because I've said it before, I'll say it again. Jim Harbaugh,
Jim.
you're Bo Pelini.
Jimmy.
They're the same person.
Bo from in Youngstown?
Oh, yeah.
Man, that's bad. That's bad.
We had experience with a coach like that. He's never going to win the big game. I think he's 2-9 against his rivals since he's been there. 2-11, something like that. I can't remember what it is, but he's got 2 wins in 6 years.
Well, I believe that Michigan needs a quarterback ultimately.
Well, Shea Patterson's going to the NFL. They loved him. Everyone loves Shea Patterson. I don't.
Stidham is too, but
Yeah, I don't get the
hello
love for either of them. But I think this is very similar trend that Ohio State kind of follows, where they'll be asleep for half a year, whole year, but once they wake up, look out. And I think that you rewind a couple years ago, I don't think it's the same caliber team that, you know, the JT Barrett and Cardale Jones national championship run.
Right.
But this is eerily similar, because you remember that year they opened up, lost to Vatek at home, I think.
Right.
Or they might have been playing at Vatek. I'm not sure about that. But they lost, and it wasn't a very good Vatek team. They kind of sleptwalk, and then they go to Michigan State. And boy, did they wake up. It was kind of surgical, and I saw a lot of that last week. I think this is going to be, if they want any kind of shot to get into this playoff, they're going to have to do 2 things. They're going to have to prove that they are better than Oklahoma, because I don't think Oklahoma loses this week. They're going to have to prove that they're better, and they're going to need some help.
Do you think Haskins throws another 6 touchdowns?
I wouldn't be surprised.
He's breaking records against Michigan's ass.
Yeah. No, and the whole, you know, I think it might be one of those games where it's like 14-3 at the end of the first half or something like that.
So you
where
saying
it's a
pick
little
the first
tight.
half? Are you saying pick the first half? You think they will cover this? Let's say it's 7.
Yeah.
Seven and a
I
half.
would bet that. But
Damn, Northwestern.
with
You're
them,
no credit.
the reason I'm so confident with this pick is Northwestern is so one-dimensional since they lost their starting running back. They lost their
Spine
starting
injury, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had to retire from football.
Yeah.
But since they lost him, they're near the bottom of every major rushing category, and you can't do that. And that's really been Ohio State's against Maryland. Their run defense was really the problem, because that guy from Maryland had busted 2 60-plus yard runs.
He did.
You know, and being so, this is just, I think this is a conference championship that Urban Meyer is tailor-made for, because you got a team that can't run the ball. So all you got to do is really game plan for their passing attack. And Clayton Thorson, he's proved that he's a Northwestern great, but that's where it ends for me. Is you're great for Northwestern, you're not. I don't think he's the guy that can win this game. I just don't.
Well, Ohio State is 24-1 against Northwestern in history. So since the 1980s, they've only lost them 1 time.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're gonna lose today. I mean Saturday.
No.
I don't think that's happening at all. I would take the points just because of the fact that it's 14.5. I believe that the way Northwestern performed this season, overall, this is their best year by far. At 8-4, I mean, it seems to be one of the best teams that they had. in recent years. From a talent perspective, they don't have the talent that matches up with Ohio State.
No.
So,
But, I mean, to the same point, they don't really have the talent that matches up with a lot of teams.
yeah, for
in
sure.
the
They
Big
play with a
Ten.
lot of heart. They play with a lot of heart. You know, a lot of times, I mean, with some of these teams in the Big Ten, man, they only have heart.
Yeah.
Because you have Northwestern. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to offend anyone. Actually, I don't give a damn. Northwestern doesn't have the talent. Iowa doesn't have the talent. Nebraska, they have the talent on offense. Their defense can't stop a nosebleed. Wisconsin, not so much. No quarterback. I mean, you don't really see that type of talent in the Big Ten this year.
Not in the Big Ten West. I mean,
No,
you got Rondale Moore at Purdue who could play for anyone in the country.
I like him.
You got Jonathan Taylor up at Wisconsin who could play for anyone in the country. Now he gone over. I believe he went over 2,000 yards. I know he was almost there. He had 300-yard game against Purdue.
They still don't have a quarterback though, Grant.
No,
Wisconsin still doesn't have a quarterback.
no, they don't.
When it comes to throwing, if you take the defense, if you put 8 men in a box, they don't make they can't compete, man.
And that's exactly. It's kind of the flip of what I think is going to happen with this, because you've seen Ohio State play Wisconsin without a quarterback in one of these conference championship games where Ohio State and Urban Meyer only had a game plan for one side of the ball, and that team had Melvin Gordon, who I don't know if you've heard of him. He's pretty good.
Hey, Melvin is playing ball. Hey, sprained MCL, I think, right now, in the Chargers in LA.
But, you got that caliber. You got an all-pro caliber guy who wasn't able to do anything, given it's a different team. But it's the same coach.
It is.
And I think that this one is going to end up being one of those real long days for Northwestern. I think it's going to be – I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State hangs another 60 points on them. They just played They just played the best defense in the Big Ten. They scored 62 points.
The best defense in the country, though. They were ranked.
Yeah.
Best defense in the country.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah, they got thrashed.
Yeah.
They got thrashed.
And
so you like them to cover the 14.5?
I like it all. All in favor of Ohio State.
Man, so he's telling you guys go with the 2. I like the split. I like the under. No, I like the open underdog for both games. Georgia, Northwestern. I like both of you. Now, I only want Georgia for the win, though. I don't think Northwestern is going to win. I believe Northwestern is going to lose this game. I would myself personally, I wouldn't bet this game just based on the inconsistencies between the two. I did pick Northwestern last week in the first half against Illinois. I wasn't a big fan of Illinois at all, or Illinois. I'm from Alabama, man. Sometimes
it's Illinois.
I mess up my vernacular is off a little bit. I apologize. I'm not representing everybody from Alabama, but I'm representing me. So Illinois, I wasn't a fan of them from an offensive standpoint, but they produced in the second half against Northwestern. They were able to move the ball, run the ball, throw the ball a few times, and it was 24-16. To finish the game. I still don't believe, though, that they're going to take a 15-point loss to Ohio State. I like the underdogs in both games.
Well, we have to disagree on some things, don't we?
Yes, we do. What about the over and under?
What is it at 61?
It is 61.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ohio State covers that by themselves. I'm going with the over.
I like the over, too. I like the over a lot. I don't think Northwestern can stop them defensively. You're gonna have to play. You're gonna have to be mistake free on a defensive side to really stop them.
Yeah,
especially the way Haskins has been playing ball.
Yeah, no, he's playing real good.
Yes, he is.
The only thing with Haskins is if you get a guy in his face, he really struggles. That was something that Nebraska was able to do when we played them, is we were able to put pressure on him. I didn't see that last week when Michigan was
I
playing
didn't
them.
see that either. I mean, no. Oh my god.
So that makes you, if you go back to the 2 weeks ago when we recorded last time,
Yeah. I miss you all.
my biggest concern with them was their offensive line. It seems
Oh,
like
it was.
it seems like they've fixed that. Whatever was going on, I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know if that was just like a fluke or if that was just something that they were dealing with, but it seems fixed, and that kind of alleviated any concern I had. I
agree completely. They were just too talented. They just had too much talent on the offensive end. On the defensive side of the ball, they moved really well, sideline to sideline, everyone to the ball. It was impressive. It was beyond impressive to me. I actually wanted it to be a night game, but watching it at 11, if Michigan would have showed up like that and it was a night game, I would have been really upset.
Yeah.
Really
I think
upset.
that's the way everyone kind of felt about it.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what Michigan fans were thinking, but
They couldn't think. It was a
no.
fucking head bust.
But yeah, and ultimately, I think what you really saw was what this team's capable of if they're all on the same page and they're getting up. They got up for that game, and they just dismantled. As you said, one of the top defenses.
Yeah. Well, I think we have it. I think we have a picks.
Yep, Clemson, Ohio State roll.
Man, Ohio State. I like you guys for the money line. I like the points with the Northwestern with this game, though. I want Northwestern with the 14.5, 15 points. Georgia, you know it. I want you with the money line. Big money.
Big money, big money.
And then we go in Oklahoma
Yep.
for the money line.
I got
Texas with the points.
Yes. That's what I got.
I like that. Do you want to pick this game tonight, though? Who do you like? I mean, we don't have to get into it much, but who do you like for the win for the Utah?
I like Washington to win. The line is at 5.5. I like. Did I say Utah? I meant Washington. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Washington.
I like Washington to win by 3 points.
So you don't like them.
And the Pac-12 games, correct me if I'm wrong, but they do home field advantage, right? So that's going to be at Washington.
Levi Stadium.
Is that? Yeah, but I like Washington by 3. I like the Utah to cover the points. That's how I feel. How do you feel?
Well, with it being Utah's first Pac-12 conference title game, I think that they may play really well. I do know that Browning has been playing really good, though. Browning they have been playing really good. That defense is that defense is definitely the best defense in the conference, in the Pac-12 by far. I thought USC, by the way, USC looked really good defensively against Notre Dame last week. But I like Washington's defense. I believe Washington's defense they can help put up points as well. What Browning may be slacking, but I like the Huskies, man, all day. I'm picking the Huskies all day. I like the 5.5. I think they'll win by 5.5. The over and under is 43, so it's going to be a defensive game. The weather there, it's going to be nice. 7:00 game, at prime time television on a Friday night, man. You can't ask for anything less than that.
Nope.
So I like it, guys. So we made our picks for today, man. Be safe as you travel. We will see you guys next week
For the bowl special.
Hey, I always say, if you don't have the money, don't make the bet. But if you have the money, take the bet. Well, we out of here, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Have a good weekend. It's been a pleasure.